Welcome back everyone to the final 6 holes of the 2022 Savanna Open, presented by the Upholstery Shop by Leo and powered by Prodigy Discs. For the final 6 holes, we're going back to the black tee pads. We'll be playing holes 1, 2, 3, and then 16, 17, 18 to finish out this B-tier tournament at Tom Triplett Park. I'm Nathan Queen, once again joined by Conrad Norwood.
And for our final lead card,
as the rest of the tournament has been, we're going to have Ezra Robinson at 32 under par.
we have his brother Isaac Robinson coming in at 27 under.
We have myself, Nathan Queen, sitting at 26 under par.
And Kris Orrick coming in at 25 under, finishing off the 4 for the last 6 holes of play here at this event.
And hole 1, 312 feet from this black tee pad. Just like the first round, it's just a straight shot. If you get a little bit of right fade at the end, that's great. If not, you're just fine. Don't kick off to the right, as there is an OB road all the way down the right side. The left side could leave you a tricky upshot, but you will have a chance to save your par.
I'll say one of the defining things about this final 6 is the temperature drop. It has gotten much colder than any of the previous rounds, and I know for me that affects my grip and my release. We'll see if that plays into the players' action here for this final 6.
Yeah, the wind's been blowing throughout the day, blowing the storm away, but the cooler weather in. Isaac throwing a great shot there and just catching a late tree puts him a little further away than it looked like he was going to be. I'm taking some local lines over there that they told me about just before this final 6 started.
And getting all the way through on the local lines.
And Kris almost getting all the way down, but also catching that last tree. He's right around circle's edge, still in about an inch or so of water.
Yep. The water is still, it's draining well. I'm actually surprised at how well it's draining, but it is still out here.
The wind is definitely helping with the water going away. But there's still not well enough for it to be gone. Isaac didn't have much of a chance there. I'm probably about 40 feet, maybe a little further.
Ooh.
Almost dropped it down in.
Yeah.
Kris splashes it down in, but unfortunately, that's his shoes and not his disc.
Right.
I've changed shoes now from the first round, so I have dry feet again.
Oh, wow.
Feeling pretty good about it.
That's a pro move. I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I had extra socks and shoes. Kris did not change shoes, but if he would have, then they would have been wet again anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, good move on his part. Bunch of pars to start.
Yeah.
We're running out of time. I think Ezra could have it locked up already.
Yeah, he has a nice little padded lead, so as long as nothing blows up.
This is a hole that it could blow up on slightly. Hole 2, 393 feet. Very tough line to hit. Once you hit the line, miss a few more trees, finish hitting the rest of the line, and then you might be in the circle.
Might be in the circle. That looks a little high on a hyzer, hits a tree.
Yeah, what a kick there. He was if he didn't hit anything, he was heading into the lake over there.
I was going to say OB, but the lake was a possibility as well.
Isaac, great correction.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't get a big skip over towards the basket. He'll be in the smaller lake / pond area on the right side. Pretty strong headwind.
Wow, yeah, that really
or
got
left to
turned
right.
over.
I still threw a very flippy disc just because I was trying to hit the gap. I got out. I'm on the other side. That's fine with me. Kris is trying to get this birdie, though. He hits the gap, gets a little bit of a skip, but finds about 3 inches of water to keep him from going any further.
Yeah, had that been dry, he would have definitely been under the basket, but he's going to still have a little meat on those bones when he gets up there for that putt.
And a nice standstill flex shot there that just gets knocked down by the last branches.
And knocked straight into water.
You can see my wind read on the water right there. It's blowing straight at me. And didn't throw it hard enough to account for all that wind that was blowing straight at me.
That's going to leave you at the circle's edge. That's going to leave you with a very tricky putt.
A great bid. Very controlled with how much wind is going on, but he's going to be getting a 4. Isaac almost able to connect for his 2.
And that was a very...
Kris with his whole foot underneath the water.
He just can't get out from finding the water. He just every hole. Oh.
The wind stopped and I went very quickly. If I would have snapped it that hard the last time, I think it would have gone in.
So we've seen our first 2 bogeys of the final 6 here. And 2 pars.
Yeah, so Kris tying myself up now. We're now tied for 3rd. Isaac pulling away from myself and Kris a little bit. Ezra still kind of off in his own realm with the lead. Brings us into hole 3, 184 feet. Kind of a right line and kind of a left line. Throw one out there and you'll have a circle 1 putt probably at 184 feet.
The only line I didn't see was an overhand line. I think there's a little bit of branches to prevent that, but no thumbers, no tomahawks, I think.
It's just because Schwebe wasn't here. And that was a little low. That needed to be a bit higher to get the flight path that he wanted. The wind probably just packed it down. Kris going back to that really wide route and using it well. Wow. He's closer than the last time.
Yeah.
And here's that good flex line. But comes in with a lot of speed.
Yeah.
Gets a pretty good skip. I believe he's outside of circle 1 now.
It looks like it was a driver to achieve that overstability, but that landing was not predicted.
My disc was in that same spot and under a couple inches of water during the 3rd round. Isaac.
Look at this putt. Let's run that back.
With his nonchalant putting style that we saw the first round. That's about 65 feet.
And it looked like he had to weave a couple of the trees in and out to get that line right. Oh, it's just leaving that a little bit low.
And now we have a bit of a battle for the lead. Isaac has run Ezra down to within 1 stroke.
Oh, yes.
With just 3 holes left to play. Or it could still be a 3-stroke difference. Moving on to hole 16. Playing from the black tee pad, which is on the right side of this road, 349 feet. Slight left to right movement at the end, but pretty open off of the tee with the tree line down the right side. Then you want to come into this gap, finishing to the right.
Again, with the players having to contend with cold hands and the wind, it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to shape these shots into this green.
So the last hole has a bit of a scoring discrepancy, and that had us confused on how far apart the players were. Ezra does have a 3-stroke lead going into these last few holes.
Yes.
So still in a realm of his own.
With 3 holes left to play, yes, he's again, unless there's some type of major blow up.
Yeah, so that Thunderbird, that orange one that I said was the last throw, it is now somebody else's. This is the replacement. And it did some nice things for me. I pulled it off to the left side, and it snuck through all those trees. I'll have a pretty tough headwind putt, but a putt nonetheless.
Oh, that last branch. Ez had a nice line on that. That last branch knocked him down. Stopped the disc from completing its flight.
Kris able to pitch his little forehand up for par. Ezra with another good run, just a little short. He's still working on that circle 2 range with his new putters. Clearly, he's put it in circle 1 enough that it's okay. Speaking of circle 2, looking for one here myself.
Oh, just a little bit low.
I didn't even know what to do there. I didn't.
It's like, am I supposed to pick up this
walking
disc?
around? I don't know.
Going? I don't know.
I want to putt out, but I don't.
I'm looking at the expression on your face. I'm not saying that your face is funny looking, just the expression was.
Well, you can't see most of it, so. Again, lots of pars on that hole, just like the first time. That one's causing some trouble. Brings us to hole 17, 403 feet. Again, you've got to cross this road to be in bounds. There's a stand-up line for the right-handed hyzer over close to this bridge on the right side where you can fade back in, or for myself, go out just to the left of that light pole, and it's a little more clean to come in this way. But 400 feet of power and try to miss some trees late, you'll have a chance for a birdie.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the wind's whipping a lot.
You can see it playing with the height on that disc a lot, but I think he threw that a little bit more than 400.
Yeah, he's gone a little long trying to get to 18's tee pad, wanting to get on out of here.
That gets lifted up, and so waiting for the drop. Oh, it gets,
and that's a.
Ooh, it gets hit by the tree, and
that tree almost kicked it out, but if it hadn't hit that tree, I believe it was going to float out.
Yeah.
So that was probably a good tree for him. I don't throw this right. Also a good tree for me. And Ezra getting this a little high in the air.
Yeah.
He needed that to turn a little bit further right, but the wind would just not allow it. We're going to all be going for a par again here. And a little low, but luckily some of the water has subsided.
Yeah.
And
it looks like he was trying to just lay that up, not give it a bid whatsoever, but that tree and those roots really, I guess, stopped him prematurely. I think he would have been more advised to take the route that Ez did and went to the right. You tried to put that in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know that Kris and myself are tied. I need to do something to try to get solo third. Isaac swatting at that gnat that was there. I don't know where it came from, but it got him a little bit.
I think he knows that his window of catching is basically closed with that putt. There was no more window. He closed the window is what he was doing.
That was his slight chance to put a little bit of pressure with one hole left.
Yeah.
Seems like the only battle now is for solo third or tied third between Kris and myself. With just one hole left to play. Hole 18. Gonna have to deal with some wind again.
Mm-hmm.
It's dried up a little more. Wanted to make sure you got all of that.
So hole 18, the last hole for this event. Coming in as a par 3.
At 276 feet.
We've seen this line before, several times now. It's just how the players want to play it. They know what they need to do. Ez just needs to play a safe, walk away with a par.
Or a bogey.
And the battle is really, like you said, for third place.
So Isaac gonna be ace running here. Definitely trying to throw it in. Knows he didn't do it out of his hand. But that's what you want normally.
Yeah.
So Kris
wanting to put some pressure on you and just pulls it into the tree again. We saw him do that on the last round. And maybe he did apply some pressure. You hit a tree and get kicked off to the right.
Yeah, I don't know about pressure. That was the last tree I needed to miss. I thought I had finally thrown that line right, but I should have known. Ezra gonna go ahead and try to get a birdie to finish.
I feel like he just ace ran it too, just to add insult to injury to everything.
So Kris needs to get up and down here. And he does not get enough turnover on that. He does stay in bounds, but he's probably 40 feet or so now for his par. I just pitch up to try to put some pressure on him. Yeah. I don't want to have a comeback here. The wind's still whipping. I've seen Cage a lot.
And he tried. He gave it
the pressure I did apply.
Hearted effort there.
Yeah, he catches a root, but makes a much harder putt, in my opinion, on the
comeback with the wind,
He had a straight headwind there from about 27 feet, steps up to it without any thought at all and just jams it. So great tournament from Kris here to finish 4th place. Player out of Tennessee coming down to Georgia and having a good time in the woods. Ezra, I told him it was a smart play to lay that up. I think he was trying to make it, but he'll be all right either way.
Either way.
I'll go and tap in my par to secure 3rd place overall. Isaac with a birdie and Ezra. Your 18th annual Savanna Open champion, Ezra Robinson. Thank you all once again for joining us for this first disc golf event of 2022 for Ace Run Pro. Thank you guys for coming out. How do these guys follow you?
Thank you for coming out. Thank the Savannah Disc Golf Club for having us out. They can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all under Ace Run Pro. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video. And also follow Nate. Then.
I don't like it.